Hello, welcome back to the Belly Burly YouTube channel. Belly Burly is a beginner-friendly, belly dance-inspired dance workout franchise, but we also like to do women's health, women's fitness and body confidence. But it's not just women that can suffer from body confidence issues. In this interview, we speak to Andy, who's a rockstar driving instructor, very much a man, who also talks about body confidence and how his style reflects who he is on the inside and things like that. This interview was filmed 5 years ago during lockdown in the midst of COVID. But it was on a different YouTube channel, so I'm moving all of those interviews across onto this YouTube channel, and then eventually I want to do series 2 of me and my body confidence interviews, and some of them will be people from series 1, which is what I'm re-uploading now, and some of them will be new people. So if you'd like to take part, let me know. You can be anybody, any age, any size, any background, any gender. Let me know. So let's meet Andy. Hello, welcome back to another me and my body confidence interview. If you're new here, my name's Victoria and my channel is mostly homeschool, vlogs and body confidence. Today we're going to meet Andy, but I don't call him Andy, I call him the pirate. And he taught me to drive. He's got a driving instructor business called Drive Like a Rockstar. He's an extremely good driving instructor. When I was wondering who to have as my driving instructor, he drove past me and the kids as we was leaving the allotment, and he's got a skull and crossbones on his car, so the kids all went, "Pirate!" like that, because they thought he was a pirate. And he slowed down to drive past and waved at the kids, and I thought, well, anybody who's nice to kids must be all right. So I picked him, and he's lots of fun. We used to have lots of really random conversations while I was learning to drive. But I wanted a man to do one of my body confidence interviews, and I messaged him and I said, I need a man. And then I thought, but I best clarify what I mean there. And he's got a rock star style about him as well, which I thought would be interesting. So I'm going to let him introduce himself and then he'll answer the questions.
My name's Andy and I own Drive Like a Rockstar, and I've been asked to do a few questions about my whatever this is, my look, my image, or whatever you want to call it.
Question 1. When did you get into rock and the rock look, and what is it about the rock style that you like?
So when did I get into rock, and what is it about the rock style that I like? So I've always been into rock, I think. I can remember playing as a kid outside at my mum and dad's, and my dad shouting me in and asking me to come and watch Jimi Hendrix on telly, and who I'd never heard of, and I kind of went in and sort of went, yeah, can I go out and play? But then something must have clicked up there, and then on one Saturday hearing the guitar riff for a Dire Straits song, I just remember thinking, what is that noise? And it just sounded like the best thing I'd ever heard, and it just sort of went from there. My brother's 4 years older than me, so he'd come home with Guns N' Roses and Metallica, and you know, when they came out, and that was it. I was hooked. So 87, Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses, that's really when it kicked off. I was 10. I can't remember a great deal before that, but that was it. What do I like about the look? I'd like to say individuality, but everybody looks the same. So head to toe in black, jingly jangly things, tattoos and piercings. I don't know, just the ability to be myself, really. Kind of what I feel and what I like. I sort of wear what makes me comfortable, and that's it, really. There's no massive thought of I want to look like this. I've never tried to look too much like a genre, if you like. I've been there and done that for a few gigs or whatnot. If I've been to see Marilyn Manson, I've got a bit more gothed up, for example. If I've been to see a glam band, when I had hair, longer hair, maybe a bit more. But I kind of like my own style, which is a very easy, not too much thought into it, mix of all the styles thrown together. Oh.
Question 2. Do you find people have preconceptions about you because of your style?
Recording? Do I find that people have preconceptions about me because of my style? Not now, but I'm 43 now and I have toned down quite a lot. If this was being asked of me 5 years ago and anything sort of up to 20 years ago, then it would have been different because I look different. You know, I would have almost definitely had guy liner on. If I was awake, guy liner was on. Black nail varnish was a standard from being sort of, I don't know, at school up to recently, and that's more because I've sort of got lazy with it than anything else. So I don't think people do now, and also because I'm a little older and a little bit tamer than I wear, not so much, but definitely back in the day, I think so. But also, I kind of look for it a little bit more as well. I don't really care what people think about me. I do, that's a lie. I care a little less about what people think about me now than I did then, whereas I very much cared what people thought about me then, and it definitely defined the way I thought. So maybe if I saw someone coming towards me and I expected them to have preconceptions, then I would sort of play up to it. So I'm sort of as bad as them really, in that I'm judging them and they're judging me, so maybe that was a bit of a clash.
Question 3. When you first set up your driving instructor business, were you judged because you don't look like other driving instructors? And does being different help or hinder with your business?
When I set my driving instructor business, was I judged because of the way I looked, and did it help or hinder the business? Well, it helped massively, because the only way to stand out from a crowd which is overcrowded is by being different. So within my sort of friends, if you like, I didn't look too different. I looked just the same as all of them, like I say, head to toe in black. But definitely as a driving instructor I looked different, and again, going back to when I launched the business, I really amped it up quite a lot. So I'd have my hair out and a guy line on for driving lessons and things like that. But again, I've been doing it 10 years now, and a lot less edgy. Maybe I'm getting boring in my old age, but I don't sort of go out there to stand out so much. The business has established itself, but definitely at the start of the business, yes, I went out purposely to look different, and yes, I was judged, but more by driving instructors, to be honest. I can't remember the rest of the question. I think I've answered it.
Question 4. Do you attract only other people who like rock as your customers, or do you have a wide variety of customers?
Do I attract people who only like rock music as customers? No, bizarrely. When I launched, I really thought that I'd sort of put myself in a niche market where I would only have your full-on rock fans, Mohicans and big hair and stuff, and I was worried about how to get in the car, to be honest. But no, I've taught vicars to drive, I've taught people who come to driving lessons in suits and ties, I've taught full-on punks. It's across the board. I think the appeal of the business is more towards the fact that I'm not going to judge you as a person, I'm literally there to judge your driving, than it is sort of what you look like, which kind of goes back to how the punk attitude, if you like, is, where it's not really about what you look like. A punk wouldn't judge another punk because they've got the wrong safety pins through the nose, for example. A punk would judge a punk just by being the person that they are, and that's my ethos really. I don't like to judge people too much for what they are, but if they're asking me to teach them to drive, I will under a microscope look at how you drive, because that's what you're asking me to do. But I'm not going to say, you know, that Guns N' Roses top's from Primark, it's not from gunsnroses.com. In fact, I probably would say that, because you should always buy it from the band.
Question 5. Let's talk hair. I know you've had lots of different hairstyles. What was the most high maintenance haircut, most outrageous haircut? Which haircut you like the best?
My hairstyle. So at the moment, it's just it's easy to go under a lid, and I don't really put a lot of effort into it. So it's more about this at the moment. I've gone obsessed with the beard instead. But I've gone from as soon as I got into music, like I say, age 10 sort of onwards, I wanted long hair. So by the time I left school, I had really long hair. My hair was natural colour, blondish, and it was very long. By the time I was 18, I could sit on my hair. I've never seen anyone else with, any other guy with hair that long. And then I kind of went through a lot of phases. I discovered hair dye around, when did Marilyn Manson really get famous? 1999, and I just wanted to look like, I just wanted black hair, I just wanted to look like Marilyn Manson, so I did that for a little bit. Once I started dyeing it, it was a case of, where'd you go from that? You know, you can have different colours, but I kind of got a little bit bored of that, so shaved undercut, did the old 9 Inch Nails thing, Mohican, Mohawk, and then I say sort of got shorter and shorter. And the beauty of getting shorter and shorter, as much as I loved having long hair, is it's easier and easier. So I went total shaved head, got into sports quite a bit, got into kickboxing quite a bit, and it was all about reading books by Jeff Thompson about not being a victim and not being attacked, and not giving the person that's attacking you a way of grabbing hold of you. So grabbing hold of your hair is obviously a thing. So no hair whatsoever. But then got really back into my music again, started growing it again, sort of went through a punk phase and sort of grew it out and had bits of colours everywhere. So I've had red, blue, green, pink, all sorts, whatever. But I hate to admit it, but now it's just down to ease, just it's dead simple. The most maintenance haircut was when it was just really, really long, because, you know, it's shampooing it with the right shampoo that suits your hair. If you do it with the wrong stuff, you just get really frizzy and horrible. Conditioner again, what type of conditioner you use, how you condition your hair, oh, it was a nightmare. Whereas now it's just a case of job done, and that was it, out.
Question 6. Are you as confident as you seem, or do you, or have you ever, used your look to make yourself seem more confident?
Yep. Am I as confident as I seem, or do I use my look to make myself more confident? It's a show. It's all a show. I got into rock music, like I say, when I was about 10, and the people on stage, you just think these guys are just absolutely amazing. But then, as you get a little bit older, you realise that they just walk on stage and they put a show on for you. So we hide behind it. I hide behind it, sorry, to a lesser or greater degree, depending on who I'm with. So I'm quite comfortable in myself and who I am now, but I have lots and lots of self-doubt. I get riddled with insecurities, and I put a show on. So you can, you're going back to the days of when I used to really get done up to go out, you know, slap the guy liner on, spark the hair up, walk into a venue like you're the most famous person on earth, like you're a rock star, and people sort of respond to that, either by calling you whatever, or they gravitate towards you and want to be around you, and that makes you feel better about yourself. So it's a sort of, it is an act, and it's a shield that I hide behind. And like I say, lesser now, because I'm an old git now, and I don't feel I need to impress, if you like. And also I don't sort of put myself in situations where I'm being judged by others, because I've kind of raised above that that plateau of everyone sort of trying to be better than each other. Which we all do as humans. We all try to, you know, one-upmanship all the time. Have I ever used my look? Yeah, like I say, just put a shield on and hide behind it, and that's it really. But not so much nowadays. Now I'm very settled, very happy with my life. I kind of don't really overdo my look to hide behind. Some days it might be notched up a little bit just to help me get through whatever I'm feeling insecure about that day, but more often than not I can kind of take myself off and have a word with what's being said up there and hope it fades away.
Question 7. When you see women changing their bodies through cosmetic surgery or doing extreme diets because of having no body confidence, as a man, what do you think?
When I see women changing their bodies through cosmetic surgery or extreme diets, as a man, what do I think? I think it's a shame. I think that it's quite upsetting, really, that someone would go under the knife, which is a major thing, to change something on the body. If you're born with defects, or if you've been in a car accident or something, then I can see how you would possibly, well, not possibly, I could see how you would think that you want to change your body. But if you're normal, and let's face it, normal's a massive remit, then I think it's quite worrying, quite upsetting that people do that. I personally wouldn't, if I won the lottery, I wouldn't go under the knife. There's things in my body, about my body I don't like. I've got a lumpy knee and wonky teeth and bits and bobs, but I wouldn't do anything about it because you're changing things that you don't know what the knock-on effect is. So, but that's my personal view. Extreme diets, any diet doesn't work. If you want to change minor adjustments in your body, then change minor adjustments. So eat better and exercise more, you know, will fit most people's body types to make slight adjustments. That's just my opinion. So no, I'm not a fan of cosmetic surgery. The great big plastic knockers that stick out, not for me, thank you very much. The massive bums, why would you? The mouth thing, what's the mouth thing about? I don't get that at all. I don't know a bloke that fancies or is attracted towards women that have got these massive mouths. I don't get that. Why would you? I think it's all driven by media. I think that as humans, we kind of, especially through the age group, let's say what, sort of 10 through to 30, I think we're very driven by what we see and we feel that we should achieve that. I don't think that ever goes. I still watch telly and think, oh God, I don't look like that guy. You know, I'm a blob or whatever. But
Question 8. Are men immune to body confidence issues, or are they as insecure as some women are?
fuck. Are men immune to body confidence issues, or are they as insecure? Are men immune to body confidence issues, and are... I can't remember this question. To body confidence issues, or are they as insecure? Are men immune to body confidence issues, or are they as insecure as some women? Some men are, and some men aren't. I definitely see some people. I think, mate, you're really not bothered. I think men are less worried about body confidence issues because, I don't know, is it maybe because guys don't judge each other like women judge each other in the same kind of way? Maybe, I'm not sure. I definitely wouldn't sort of go out for a beer with one of my mates and say, you know, in a mickey take way I might say something, but I wouldn't say things to sort of upset them and try to get them to change something. I don't think. Whereas, I don't know. I don't think men are. Difficult question, it's a really good question, but I don't think men are as worried about body confidence. But we are insecure. Definitely, men do get insecure. I think we hide it better. I think we bury it better, not necessarily hide it. I think we start off by hiding it, but then we just bury it, and it just becomes that buried that maybe it just goes away. I don't know, or we take it to his grave or whatever. I don't know.
Question 9. What advice would you give your 16-year-old self?
What advice would I give to the 16-year-old version of me? Well, I'm not going to go too deep into this, but I'd just say, mate, have a word. What advice would I give to 16-year-old self? Learn to play guitar properly. There's so many gigs I did that I didn't know what I was doing. No, about body confidence. I'd say don't try so hard. That's what I'd say. Don't try so hard. You don't need to impress every single person that looks at you. You don't live in a TV advert. Just go with the flow a little bit more.
Question 10. What advice would you give a woman struggling with body issues?
What advice would I give to a woman struggling with body issues? Try and look at what it is that's making you worry. So, is it that you're under pressure by other women, men, TV, magazines? Look at what it is, and then try and work out what you're trying to achieve. If you're a tiny woman and you're looking at someone who's got massive boobs and massive arse and you want to be like them, it ain't gonna happen. So why upset yourself? And equally, if you're the other way around, you can't change your skeleton. You can't shave bits of your legs, your bones off to make them a different shape. As long as you're healthy, you know, as long as you're eating properly, as long as you're exercising reasonable, just be who you are. There's no need to try and be something else, because, well, you'll never achieve it. Ever. No matter what you do. You'll never, ever, ever, no matter how many times you go under the knife, no matter how much money you spend, be somebody else. So, my advice would be, like I say, what is it that's making you feel like that? If you can get to that, you've got to the root of the problem, I believe. And then don't worry about it so much, because no one else is.